What Tagwan world? It's yours truly, Mr. Muslim Paka. And today I'm here to talk about, emotional intelligence. My close homie puts it the best. Yoda?
Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
Right? There's different levels of intelligence. There's physical intelligence, there's mental intelligence, there's creative intelligence, there's mechanical intelligence, there's analytical intelligence, just a lot of different kind of intelligence, right? But I'm here to talk about emotional intelligence because I remember reading an article about how, I can't even remember the rate of students just across North America, or even Canada, that are committing suicide because, they're in these institutes that are supposed to create very, well-balanced, intelligent people, but for some reason, there's a high suicide rate, right? So I'm here to talk about emotional intelligence, the basis, right? And with emotional intelligence, us as humans, when we developed, our baser instincts were, fear, aggression. These are the things that made us survive, right? It's like, we're about to be attacked. Oh, attack. You killed my father. Oh! Those kind of things, right? But the best way I could sum up what emotional brilliance is. This is able to listen to somebody and not judge the circumstances that kind of like made them who they are, right? Because that's the one thing I'm going to be honest. Like in the last year, it's kind of hit me was that it's the listening more than talking. Is to be able to listen to people, right? And for years I worked in I was a care worker, so I had a lot of clients that were physically verbally weren't able to communicate, right? But I realized that if you were able to kind of get on the same emotional frequency, you were able to kind of get what they needed, right? So one of the greatest stories I've ever heard about emotional brilliance. Now this is emotional brilliance, right? So there's this famous Taekwondo instructor, right? He was in Japan, and he was on the train. And this massive man, drunk, stumbles into the train and just starts harassing people. He's angry, he's drunk, he's drunk on sake. And that sake drunk, ooh, that's a bad drunk. It's bothering people and everyone's kind of tense. So this Taekwondo instructor is watching him, right? And the guy starts getting a little more belligerent. And all of a sudden he gets into action, right? Pull that Chuck Norris stare of death on him.
I've been waiting 25 years for this. You're gonna wish you'd waited longer.
It's like, okay, I might have to put this guy down, right? And then all of a sudden, just before he's about to say or do anything, he hears this tiny voice behind the big man going, "Hi!" Right? So the big guy's like, "What?" So he turns around and he was automatically disarmed because the way the man presented, this old tiny Japanese man, and the way he said hi was like a familiar hi, like, "Oh, hi, it's been a long time," right? And so this kind of whoa, throws the guy off balance, right? Well, it's like saying capoeira, he gave him a hastera, right? He just put him down, right? So it's, it's a little tap without doing much. And so the big guy's looking at him and he's like, "Oh, what?" And he's like, "Are you drinking sake?" So the tiny man asked the big man, "Are you drinking sake?" He's like, yeah. "Oh, me and my wife, we always drink sake. We go out to our garden, we have some sake." And yeah, it's like, "Why are you drinking so much sake?" And then the guy was like, "Well, my wife passed away. I lost my job and all this," right? So the Taekwondo instructor is looking at this and realizes this is emotional intelligence. Before he even had to get physical, this man, next thing he knows, before he's about to leave the train, this giant 300-pound Japanese dude has his head laid on the old man's lap, crying, telling him everything he's going through, right? And this old man is just listening. And that's emotional brilliance. It's not being able to go and react with a physical response. That's the most basic thing, where we're past that. We're humans, man. We're creative. We can change this world, and we're capable of so much, right? So fear and anger shouldn't be our baser instincts. And it's hard, I'm not gonna lie, because sometimes that's the first thing that pops in your head, like anger, right? But that's emotional brilliance. It's the idea that you're able to, self-reflect and also kind of capture everything around you and the people around you, the frequency around you. And You know, spend time without emotional. You know, if you got some internal things you got to figure out, you know, find a way to do it. You know, make some stuff, create things, you know, do stuff for people. I think that is probably the best way to kind of help yourself with that. If you're, you know, if you're hurting, give. The more you hurt, the more you give, the better you feel, right? And last year, after I left the hospital, I mentioned this sometimes, was after being stabbed, I had a gig as Ronald McDonald. I'm supposed to go to kids' hospitals, and I just got out of the hospital, right? So the first day I'm supposed to do my Ronald gig, I mean, from McDonald's, like, I know, McDonald's, I'm sorry, I'm telling you that I was like the first black Ronald McDonald, right? So put all my makeup on, and I'm supposed to go to the Siri Kids Hospital, right? And up until this point, I was still kind of like, you know, PTSD, you know, I was just, you know, it's kind of like, yeah, I'm okay with it. No, I'm not okay with it. I'm angry. I want to find him. I want to hurt him. Those kind of emotions just kept coming up. But it's kind of hard to have those emotions come up when you got a red wig on, you know, clown shoes, and you're at a kid's hospital, and these kids are just like happy to see you, you know? And literally that one visit to this kid's hospital did tremendous things for my healing. I swear my scars just healed into smiley faces after that, right? So emotional intelligence, like anything else, should be, you know, something to pay attention to, right? And that means when you're communicating with people or when you're talking. And it's a work in progress like everything else. And, you know, so don't be the big belligerent drunk man. Be the tiny old Japanese man.
Come here, I'm gonna eat you! I'm bigger than you, I'm higher in the food chain! Get in my belly! Come on! You're lucky, wee man! Ah!
Can I have a hug?
You know, that's, you know, just be the tiny, you know, like that. You don't have to be this big to make a difference, right? You can be like that big and still make a difference, right? So with that being said, I'm off to create some things. You all enjoy your beautiful day. Peace.